righteous teaches many, but fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the city. Fixation of the soul is vanity. Destruction of the whole is their poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy, holy place. Why do you fight each other? Why do you kill your brother? Then your reward will be the cemetery. Your reward will be in the cemetery. We got to build a better nation. Clean up job creation. Or there will be no future for you and me.
The great Peter Tosh. Beautiful song.
But fools die for want of wisdom. The rich man's wealth is in the city. Fixation of the soul is vanity. Ooh, destruction of poor people is poverty. The poor man's wealth is in a holy, holy place.
Brother Greg. Good to be back with you. Hope everybody's thinking well, feeling well, and doing well. Really not much to be said after that song. You know, our artists are so important. Peter Tosh, Fools Die. Only if our young ones would be taught correctly about the important ones in this world, we would be so much further along, as humanity would be so much further along. I don't believe the world would be in this condition if we were taught the correct way about the important ones. That's I had mentioned that there's a oneness in the truth, a oneness in the creation, a oneness in you and I. And you will find that oneness in our artists that have not been corrupted by this Babylonian system. So I believe that we are moving into that time where our children will no longer be under the tutelage and the influence of the Babylonian system. This the music, the art, again, is just so important. Not sure if you're aware, but last week the Biden administration had hosted a African summit where he had 49 African heads of state fly from Africa to Washington, D.C. for an African summit. So just imagine that you're calling an African summit and you are flying 49 heads of states. So it may be the heads of states, the presidents, as well as their team, if you will, their delegation. Just that picture alone just doesn't make sense. Seems like if you were having an African delegation, you would have Biden and his delegation, that one team, fly to Africa. They meet at a common location and discuss whatever it is that Biden wanted to discuss. I'm not going to go into all the particulars of the delegation or the African summit, but the African summit, Biden pledged $55 billion over the next 3 years to Africa to invest in the African people, to invest in the healthcare, to invest in infrastructure. Can't we see a picture, family? Just how the summit was called. Everything is turned upside down and inside out. If you're going to have an Africa summit, Biden, go to Africa. It just makes sense from all aspects of being. We have again, that same dichotomy where the slave master is calling the slaves and telling them what they need to do, and what the master is going to do for Africa. And Africa has always been the prize, as we know. It's been the engine and the fuel for the whole industrial revolution here in America, as well as the resources of Africa built Europe. So again, you have that same dichotomy. And here it is, 2022. And we are still dealing with that same dichotomy. You would think that one of the 49 African nations, one of the heads of state, would have told Biden, if you want an Africa summit, come to Africa. Again, that deceptive quality that's in human beings, that spiritual flaw, that black people in particular seem to continue to constantly repeat these cycles. That's not healthy for the planet, for Mother Earth and Father Sky. Just imagine 49 heads of states just flying. The pollution that causes, the resources, the time. It's just mind-boggling that we're still in 2023. We're still in that same dichotomy. Only reason why Biden called the summit is to, of course, use the money, the bag, right, the money as influence, so they can control the resources of Africa, which is the richest continent on Earth. Sometimes I just think it's better to put the music on and let our gifted ones who have not sold out tell a story, because it seems like it's so clear that we are in this perpetual cycle of ignorance. We all know that there's China and America are at war, and China's in Africa, so you have America with these proxy wars. So now, if you look at the China is trying to, of course, because they're over the last 20 years they've blown up because they exploit their people, and of course they need resources, so they're in Africa trying to exploit our people. So this whole dichotomy is really a cycle that has a spiritual dimension. And it seems like it's so clear that you have that devil and you have the God are warring. And that war is being fought through human beings, through us. that humanity really can't make good decisions based on bad information. You can't make good decisions based on bad information. So the children are being given bad information from the womb going up through this system. So they become adults and they can't make good decisions because all their lives they've been fed improper and incorrect information. As we know that this economy, this system it's an extractive system. That's how the devil works. It's an extractive. It extracts things. So 90% of the trade that is traded from Africa is in the extraction industry, extraction of natural gas, extraction of the minerals, extraction of the cobalt, extraction of everything that's needed to for Satan to control. And it just seems like we've come to a time where we really need to open our eyes and people of good hearts and good spirits and of sound mind need to take over this this dichotomy and redirect this global ship onto its right course. Because the way things are now, unless you're just blind, deaf, and dumb, as the scriptures lay it out, and we humanity can't see what's going on, then might be too late. Because the gods are at war, and we know the outcome, because the God of good controls the forces of nature, and you can't, so he, she, they can't lose. So unless we either separate from this mad system, or we try to overhaul this mess, which it may not be able to be, you may be beyond overhauling, because everything it's predicated on, the system is predicated on, is the antithesis to good. And in order for it to have gotten that way, it had to be some serious deception going on. So yeah, it's there's a big problem, and I don't know. Just wanted to come on and share these words. My spirit says I just should have left the great Peter Tosh tell a story, because our the uncorrupted ones always tells that purest story, because the Most High, the Creator, speaks through those ones that have that pure soul, that pure spirit. So when Peter Tosh in the song Fools Die was saying that corruption of the soul is vanity, destruction of the poor is their poverty, a rich man's wealth seems to be in these fabricated cities that they put together, Los Angeles, New York, Chicago. That's where the wealth is, and because most oftentimes the cities have been so depleted of Mother Earth, the trees, and so it's just concrete and buildings. So the people, oftentimes, if they don't have the art and music to edify them, they, when you're in the, not in the cities, you have Mother Nature to edify the soul. But when you're in the cities, being that the cities have been so depleted of natural elements, then yes, you need to turn to the arts, because that's where you will get your edification from. Peter Tosh, Fools Die. The poor man's wealth is in a holy place in this world, because Babylon's bag is so heavy. Everybody wants the bag, right? But today Babylon's bag is so heavy because that bag comes with so much tied to it. These are just some thoughts from your brother, Greg. I am a man of thoughts, and just trying to find that silver bullet and put that oneness in the message. And I believe it's forming that fight between good and evil. And we need to be aware that humanity got to this place because that devil is the master deceiver. He comes in and deceives you through your emotions, through the knowledge that they feed us, and through these holidays, and it keeps that capitalistic system going. And that system is a system of extraction. So everything it extracts. So in order to destroy, you have to extract. The devil doesn't have that imagination to build. He breaks down. So when they broke the slave, they broke down, they extracted our names, our culture, our more ways, our folk ways, our God, and then they replanted their values and morals. So here we are, living a life of extraction. Just extract your energy, work. Extract your values, extract your mind. And it's on a psychological level now. The chains are off because the devil took the chains off because he put the chains on the mind. And he's such a master deceiver. I look at the mother of civilization, the black woman, and I just look at how she's been turned out. Not all, but so many. So I see so many of our, if I pull up on social media, you see so many of the women stripped down, twerking and showing their ass, and bikini contests, and walking, and this is supposed to be liberation. But this again, the devil extracted the dignity and psychologically planted that seed. I think the scripture said the devil deceiveth the whole world. Just think on that. The devil deceiveth the whole world. That's some shit right there. Because all of our egos will say, I haven't been deceived. But yet, we find the condition of this world as it is. So these are just some thoughts that I had on my mind in my meditation. I love you, family. Time to sign out. Peace and love.